Beloved child, before you hear a single word of this letter, I need you to make one promise to yourself. Do not skip. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. This is not about coincidence. This is not about make-believe. This is about feelings that were kept inside for too long in some place. These people who remember you have finally reached a point where silence is no longer an option. Today in this story, those feelings that were kept inside are finally put into words. As you read, each sentence will help you understand why this message feels so very personal. Pay close attention because the last few lines of this letter could change how you think about everything that has happened between you and them. Every heart has a time when it's no longer possible to pretend. For a short time, smiles can hide how you feel. The truth can't be erased, but it can be put off. They started writing this letter many times but stopped each time because each sentence was too short for what they really wanted to say. Still, they finally got the courage today. Every beat of the heart got stronger than every fear. Each memory got stronger than each defense. Every hope shone brighter than every doubt. If you already know something about this letter, click the like button before reading on. Imagine getting an envelope that doesn't have a return address on it. You slowly open the paper and even before you read another line, you can tell that it holds something important. Leave a comment. 222. If you think that some connections happen just at the right time. What changed inside me? I never knew how to explain what changed inside me until now. These simple words hold the weight of a lot of feelings that aren't being said. Leave a comment with the first letter of their name if you know how they feel. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Since this letter is just starting, the next few lines reveal a surprise. I tried to tell myself that these feelings would go away with time, but it only made them more clear. Every normal thing made me think of you in ways I didn't expect. A familiar song, a calm evening, and a smile from someone you don't know. I kept thinking about you no matter what. All of a sudden, memories that seemed normal turn out to be unique parts of a much bigger picture. The letter keeps going with honesty that can't be ignored. At times I almost reached out, but I wasn't sure if it was the right time. I thought you might have moved on already. I wasn't sure if what I said would matter. Because of this, I didn't say anything. Every single day, that silence got worse. Can you feel the feeling getting stronger? Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Each sentence builds up to a big reveal that has been kept from too many people for too long. Then there's a beautiful realization written from the heart. I stopped trying to figure out why I felt this way. To be honest, it was just something I knew. Whenever I thought of being happy, you were always there. What my heart already knew. I stopped fighting. Leave a comment if you've ever imagined being happy and found someone already there without putting them there yourself. Wow. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. Think about that for a moment. For some feelings, loud announcements are not the way to get them. It takes a while, but one day they become too big to ignore. That's exactly where this letter turns a corner. It gets even stronger in the next paragraph. I don't expect everyone to be great. I don't expect every answer today. My only goal was to let you know that what I feel is real. It was important to me that these words existed somewhere other than my own mind. I told you the truth that I should have told you a long time ago. It's sometimes bravest to keep the words to yourself. Sometimes all you have to do is let them go and leave the silence. Each sentence takes away a little more uncertainty. Every word is lighter now that it's out in the open instead of being kept secret. This letter is important because of this. It's not about making big promises. It's not about setting impossible goals. It's about being honest, finally being heard. Don't leave yet, though. Don't skip. You should stay until the end because there is a big surprise coming up. The part of this letter that will stick with you the most has not arrived yet. Every sentence before this one could mean something different. And the final message is closer than you think. Think about how the letter did not end the way you thought it would. One more page was carefully folded behind the first one. It looked like the author wasn't sure if these words should ever be seen because they were hidden. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Listen carefully because what you are about to hear is a path that was never easy to write. Those were the thoughts that stayed in a heart for longer than anyone could have imagined. Here you are reading this page. You've already arrived where I hoped you would. That was nice of you. I've never told anyone, not even myself, this about me until now. I thought that keeping quiet would protect my heart. But each day of silence made my love for you stronger. I finally understood my biggest mistake. I didn't say what was on my mind when my heart already knew it. Take a moment to think about those words. Sometimes weak people don't hide their deepest feelings. And they're hidden because they're so important that the wrong time could never carry them. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The letter goes on. I remember things you most likely forgot. Small talk that you thought was nothing special became a treasured memory for me. Let me know if you remember a time like this living somewhere in your heart. You smiled, but you had no idea how much hope you gave me. The simple things you said stuck with me for days. Those everyday events may not have been noticed by you, but they turned out to be the best parts of my story. The author takes another pause before going on. Sometimes at night I wondered if you were seeing the same sunset. There were times in the morning when I hoped you would have a peaceful day. Life went on and you never knew I was thinking about you. Thought 111. If you knew the answer in your heart before you asked the question, don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. It looks like the person who wrote it is no longer hiding because the handwriting is now more steady. A lot of people say that everything changes with time. They were right. Time changed me. It taught me that real feelings don't fade away. They get clearer. Even though the seasons changed, one thing stayed the same. You were always there when I thought about a peaceful future. I didn't mean to put you there. It was my heart that did it before I even knew it. It seems like the next paragraph is even more about you. And there were many times when I almost reached out. I wrote letters that were never sent. I started having conversations with myself in my head. I was interested in your answer. Then the unknown made me decide to wait one more day. That one day turned into a week, then a month, and finally a chapter full of silence. Now that I think about it, I see that silence never answered my questions. It only caused me to miss chances that will never come up again. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The letter now gets to the most honest confession. I gave up looking for the perfect time because I finally got something important. It doesn't make feelings stronger to wait longer when they are said honestly. They have more meaning. That's why I chose to finish this letter instead of putting it away for good. At least my heart won't have to carry this truth by itself after these words sound. If these words helped you decide something, please leave a comment. Each line gets stronger. You didn't even try to change me. You taught me to be patient without telling me to. You reminded me that small acts of kindness are remembered longer than big ones. Through your actions, you prove that some people leave marks in others' hearts just by being themselves. Everything goes quiet again for a short time. The last folded page then shows up. I want you to remember this one thing. After reading this letter, you were liked and appreciated more than you knew. Even when things were quiet, you were still important. There was more light in your memory than you will likely ever know. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Before writing the last paragraph, the author takes one last breath. This letter wasn't meant to ask for anything. Giving truth a voice was the point. Some feelings should be spoken out loud just because they are real. If reading these words makes you smile, then the time you spent writing them was well spent. After that, one last handwritten sentence shows up under every paragraph: snorts, memory, and secret emotion. There are people who make an impression on you without even trying. And in some way you joined them. At the very bottom of the envelope was a quiet surprise. It wasn't an extra page. It was a smaller folded note carefully tucked under the letter. It looked like the author had saved the most important words for last. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Most people would have given up reading before this point. But those who keep going will soon find the part that changes the meaning of every sentence that came before it. A simple line starts the note. You cared enough about what you were reading to find this page. That tells me something beautiful all by itself. It makes me remember that the most important stories are never told quickly. One page at a time. They make sense. One mind state at a time. Slowly beating heart at a time. Those words don't feel the same. They seem calmer, but in some ways even stronger. The author goes on. I've never told anyone about one memory. It wasn't a big deal. Not a single party was held. There were no unusual events. It was a normal day when all of a sudden I realized something strange. There was no reason for me to smile. Then I realized that the reason had very quietly turned out to be you. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. As if every buried emotion were finally finding its place. The handwriting gets steadier. I did not know when things would change. Was it just one talk? Just one smile? Just a moment? I was shocked by the truth. Now that I look back, I can see that my heart knew long before my mind did. It gets even more personal in the note. Sometimes I tried to tell myself that these feelings would go away. Instead, with each season, they got stronger. Every new thing I did made me think of an old memory that was connected to you. It finally dawned on me that ignoring real feelings doesn't make them go away. They hang out until we're ready to understand them. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. There's another paragraph. I sometimes think about meeting you again after all this time. It's not because I expect something special, but because I want to know if you would recognize the person I have become without knowing it. You helped me grow. You helped me remember to be more patient, thankful, and hopeful. Even though you never told me to, just being around, you made me want to change. The letter is completely silent for a moment. After that, another sentence shows up. Then I was shocked by another sentence. Some connections are still important because they were based on trust, honesty, and memories that will last a lifetime. Those kinds of connections quietly last through the years. Thought 444. If you think that time can quietly protect some connections, don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Now, the writer comes to the most surprising conclusion. What surprised me the most? What I didn't find out is how much you meant to me. Being happy can show you who really matters. With each happy event, I thought about how great it would have been to share it with you. If you just thought of them, say the first letter of their name one more time, more and more. The words come from the heart. If I could go back and change one chapter of my life, I would not erase the mistakes. I would just pick being honest more often. My heart would whisper before it screamed. So I would speak while it was still weak. It's taught me that the right words mean even more when they are said with sincerity instead of polish. It's time for the last part. This letter might make you think about something. You might feel good after reading it. Maybe it will just serve as a reminder that even small acts of kindness can change someone's life. No matter what happens, I hope you never forget how much you change people's lives just by being yourself. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The writer puts down the pen slowly before writing the last few words. Thanks for all the memories you made that you didn't even know you made. Thank you for all the everyday moments that turned out to be extraordinary. Thanks for teaching me that sometimes the quietest feelings are the ones that hurt the most. They don't want anyone to notice them. They just keep being true. Tell someone about this letter if it made you think of them. Some letters get to their owners. There is one last sentence written with more care than any other line on the page. It is written below everything else. Surprise number 1 was never writing this letter. When I realized that every part of my journey had been slowly leading me to these words, that was the biggest surprise. As soon as it looked like every word had been revealed, something completely unexpected came out of the envelope. There was a small card with just one sentence written on it hidden behind the last page. This is the part one don't let many people read. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The pages you've heard so far have only been getting you ready for this. This last message isn't the same. It doesn't have any doubts, hesitations, or unfinished thoughts. It's written in an honest way, as if all fears have finally gone away. The card slowly opens up. You now know more about my heart than anyone else has ever known. If you got this far, I spent so much time trying to find the right words that I almost forgot the most basic truth. The truth is that some people quietly move on from our memories. Not because they meant to, but because they are kind people all the time. You became one of those special people in my life. Everything goes silent for a short time. The next sentence starts. I used to think that moments that were important had to be very special. I was wrong. The everyday things are the ones I remember the most. The short talks that happened, the laughter that came out of the blue, the quiet support that showed up just when I needed it. I still hold on to those memories with great care. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The writing gets even more steady. I learned something one day that shocked me completely. When someone asked me to describe genuine kindness, your face would pop into my mind before I could answer. That was not something I had planned. Over time, it just turned out to be true. I didn't mean to, but you became the standard by which I judged how sincere, patient, and warm someone was. The author takes a break before going on. I met a lot of people in my life, but only a few stayed in my mind after the days were over. You were different in some way. Your memory never asked you to pay attention to it, but it also never went away. It quietly stayed, becoming a part of everyday mornings, calm evenings, and hopeful dreams about the next day. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. There is careful handwriting on the next page. One day, everything became clear all of a sudden. No longer did I question whether these feelings were real. I asked myself why I had waited so long to let them in. I was surprised by the answer. I wasn't scared of what the truth was. I was scared of how important the truth had grown. Each sentence makes me feel like it's about me. What is the thing I like most about you? There is more than one quality to it. I hope you always remember how valuable that gift really is. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. It's time for the last part. Whenever you feel like you didn't make a difference in someone's life, read this letter. Don't forget that someone had the guts to say what they felt after years of keeping it to themselves because it didn't feel right. That should be enough to remind you that being kind never goes to waste. It looks like each word is being picked out with great care as the writing gets slower. Thank you for all the smiles that I will always remember. Thank you for all the conversations that I thought about for a long time. Thanks for reminding me that respect, understanding, and genuine appreciation can help people connect with each other. Those are the connections that are still important after a long time. There is now only one more folded note left. One more thing I want you to know before you sign this letter off. Snorts, the biggest surprise was that I never found out how I felt. The biggest surprise was finding out that one quiet detail linked all of my best memories. They always came back to you in some way. There are no more words for a short time. Under the signature, there is only one handwritten line left. Not everyone reads every letter they get. Others stay in your heart forever without being noticed. I hope this letter turns out to be one of those. Sign up to be notified when the next letter comes in. There are some stories that should go on. Also, be sure to stay for the next chapter if you want to hear the next heartfelt letter when it comes in. The envelope is now empty, but the feelings inside will stay with you. Long after the last word is read, there was one last surprise. Inside the envelope that no one saw coming. At the bottom of each page, there was a small piece of paper with one sentence written across the top. Last were the words that were the most important. Don't skip. Wait. Until the end. You're about to find something very big. The author builds up to the last note slowly. If you're here, you've seen every memory I was brave enough to share. But there is one truth I have kept secret for a long time because I was sure it was true before I wrote it. Today is the day. There is silence for a short time. All of a sudden, every page feels like it was setting up this very moment. I thought about when everything between my heart and my thoughts changed for a long time. Then early one morning I came to a very important realization. I couldn't remember you because of the past. I was thinking about you because every hope I had for the future involved you in some way. More than anything else, that realization shocked me. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. Even more care is taken with the writing. Can you remember how normal some of our talks seemed? Sure. But those everyday moments turned into unforgettable memories. I still remember how simple words could make someone feel warm. How everyday moments could be kind and how comfort could come to us without us having to do anything. The memories I have of them are what made me who I am today. The letter stops again. Something I finally got changed. The way I look at life. It's rare for the most important people to show up with loud announcements. Over time, they slowly become a part of your heart, and you can't picture your story without them. That is exactly what took place with you. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. It opens to a new page. There were times when I wondered if you knew how much you helped people just by being yourself. It's likely that you never knew, but your kindness helped me through hard times. When I needed hope, your words came back to me. Your presence made me remember that there are still honest people in the world. The author goes on. I used to think that unforgettable moments had to be very special. It's often the other way around. I know that the smallest conversations can sometimes make the strongest memories. One genuine smile can sometimes shine brighter than 1,000 great accomplishments. I kept coming back to you after every beautiful lesson I learned. Praises, as this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our COF community, by doing so, you become part of Jesus, a plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. This is the most emotional part of the letter. This is what I would say to describe what changed inside me. My admiration turned into gratitude in a quiet way. My thanks turned into appreciation. And over time, I couldn't hide how much I appreciated them. While the change was going on, I didn't notice it. It changed the way I saw my future before I even realized what it was. It feels like every sentence is longer. Every word is spoken from the heart. I hope you always remember how important it is to be there. You might never fully understand how many quiet times were made better by you. Some people leave short-term marks. Others change the mood around every memory. They touch in a quiet way. You turned into one of those rare people. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The last folded sheet shows up. I have never said this before today. Thanks not just for the memories we made together, but also for the person I became. Because of those memories, they taught me to wait. They taught me to value what I have. They taught me most importantly that trust, kindness, and respect can build up over time to make you feel great. The author puts down the pen for what looks like the last time. Then one last paragraph shows up below everything else. Some people alter someone else's life without being aware that they have done so. For me, you were one of those people. There is only one sentence left, and it was written with more care than any other line. It was the best gift that you could never find the right words. It was getting up the nerve to let you read them finally. By now, the envelope should be empty. But when the light hit the inside one last time, something strange showed up. A small page that looked older than the others was written by hand and hidden under the lining. This page was never meant to be found until now. Was written carefully across the top. Don't skip. Wait until the end. Something very big is waiting for you. It says on the page, if these words have reached you, you already know all the feelings I was brave enough to share. Still, there is one memory that I never got around to writing down because I never had the courage to do so. Today is the day I can finally. The writing gets less clear. I still remember the exact time when everything changed. It wasn't a big deal. There wasn't any exciting talk. There was only a quiet realization that came out of nowhere. When I thought about you, I smiled, and for the first time I didn't ask myself why. I just accepted that my heart knew the answer to the question my mind kept asking. Don't skip. Wait until the end. A huge surprise is waiting for you. Starts a new sentence. I used to think that unforgettable people came into our lives at unique times. Then I met someone who showed me my mistake. The conversations I remembered best were the ones that were the simplest. Small acts of kindness turned into the memories I treasured the most. You never tried to set yourself apart. Still, in a quiet way you became just that. Then there is a short pause. Sometimes in the morning I hoped that your day would be calm. But you wouldn't have known that I was hoping that for you. Some evenings a familiar song would make me think of how kind you were, and all of a sudden the whole day felt better. In the moment those events didn't seem important, but when put together, they made something I couldn't ignore. Don't skip. Wait until the end. The author goes on, something big is waiting for you. When I opened an old notebook one day, I saw your name written next to a list of hopes and dreams for the future. I couldn't even remember writing it. That was the moment I realized that you were a part of tomorrow in my heart, long before I knew it. Some truths come to us so slowly that we don't even realize they're there until a part of us, the writing, gets more steady. I often thought about what I liked best about you. I finally found the answer after a lot of thought. It was not just one thing. It was the peace I felt when I thought about you. Some people make us feel good for a short time. Some people quietly make the world a little better. You became that faint light that I remember. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. On the last page, there is another honest confession. Life taught me that everyday events only become special when they are remembered. Now that I look back, I see that I was living through beautiful times without realizing how valuable they would become. After that, there is a long pause before the last few paragraphs. Thanks for reminding me that genuine kindness leaves marks that last a long time. Thanks for showing me that being honest doesn't change over time. Thank you for adding to my story in a way that makes me thankful. Every time I think about it, one last sentence is put below everything else by the author. I'll remember this letter if someone ever asks me what hope looks like. It was written on the day I finally stopped lying to myself about the truth. There is only one more line left, snorts, and it was written with more care than any other word. Some letters say goodbye at the end. Thank you for being a part of this story. Meeting you is one of the small blessings I will always remember. It looked like every page had been read. But then one last find changed everything. There was a sealed note with only a few words written on the front that was hidden in the back cover of the envelope. Open this only if you're sure you're done. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The seal is opened slowly. This page inside is different from the others. The writing is calmer and more sure of itself, as if there were no more doubts. You have been with me through every memory. I was finally brave enough to share. But one thing is true. I've never spoken out loud because I thought the right time was not yet here. I finally get a beautiful idea. There are no perfect times. They are made by people with good hearts. There is a short pause. I looked for a long time to find the exact day when my feelings started. I played back old conversations, remembered places I knew, and went over a lot of memories again. I then realized my mistake. I had asked the wrong question. It wasn't about when my feelings started. At that point that I finally got the courage to see them. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The next page shows a memory that was not expected. I will never forget a normal afternoon. There was nothing unusual that happened. We just spent a moment together that most people would forget the next day. Still, that simple moment became the memory I went back to when I needed hope. It made me think about how real connections are often made through the smallest things, not the biggest ones. The writing gets better. I asked myself a question one night that made everything different. And if all but one memory went away, which one would I keep without thinking? My heart picked a memory that was linked to you. I was shocked when I got that answer before I even finished asking the question. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The author goes on, I used to look up to people who made great first impressions. I now admire something much bigger. Kindness that gets more valuable over time is something I admire in people. Each season brought back more vivid memories of your kindness, patience, and the peace that your presence always brought. It opens to a new page. Being thankful is one of the rarest gifts we can have, as life taught me. I realize now that my heart is full of thanks that our paths crossed at all. No matter how long or short our talks were, they all added up to a story I will always treasure. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The last few pages are even more touching. Years ago, if someone told me that one person could quietly give so many people hope without even realizing it, I probably wouldn't have believed them. Still, I'm writing these words with full confidence. People can become a part of your future just because they changed how you saw the present. The author takes a moment to think of something else to say. There were times when I was almost sure I could stay quiet forever. Then I understood that silence could never show thanks. It's not just a letter. It's the voice of everything I hid for too long. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The last sheet is now shown. I don't have to worry about whether I chose the right words as I write these last few words. I just hope they help you remember one simple truth. Don't ever forget how much your kindness can mean. You might not know how deeply one kind word, one sincere smile, or one thoughtful conversation can touch someone. There is only one last paragraph left. People will remember this letter for one reason if they remember it years from now. Truthfully, not because it was well written, but because it was true. Words that are honest tend to last longer than words that are perfect. It's signed by the author. After the signature, one last handwritten sentence shows up. The best part of the story was never when I understood how I felt. That's when I finally got the courage to put those feelings into words. When the last signature was made, the story should have been over. But as the envelope was carefully closed, the last sheet quietly fell to the table. It didn't have a title, a greeting, or a signature. There was just one sentence across the top. If your heart led you here, these are the words you were meant to read. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The page starts. I thought for a long time that feelings didn't mean anything until they were spoken. Now I understand the other way around. When they are sincere, they come to mean something. Simply saying them out loud lets another heart see what has been going on in the background. Then there is a soft silence. I've never told anyone about something. Always being sure of yourself was what I thought courage meant. Then I learned that real courage means being honest even when your heart is shaking. That's what this letter shows. Each word on these pages is here because I finally chose to be honest instead of keeping quiet. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The next sentence goes on. What surprised me the most? That you didn't understand how important you had become. It was noticing how naturally it took place. There was never one moment that stood out. Instead, there were hundreds of normal events that slowly came together to form an unforgettable event. Now that I looked back, I can see the path very clearly. Every word I spoke, every smile I saw, and every memory I had led me here, the writing gets more steady. I sometimes wondered if people really knew how they affected other people. I don't believe they always do. A kind word might only be said for a short time. It can stay in someone else's heart. For years, though, your kindness made me remember that kind of thing. Even after they stopped talking, their warmth stayed. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The page goes on. There were times when things were busy and the days went by quickly. But even during those times, some memories wouldn't go away. They didn't get farther away. Instead, they became clearer. At that very moment, I understood something very important. Time had not made me less appreciative. It had quietly made it stronger. There is a break in the writing before the next confession. I would remember real time spent with real people. Those times are the quiet treasures I carry with me. No matter where life takes me, many of those special times start with thoughts of you. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. It's time for the last part. I'm not sure if these words are enough anymore. Any group of words could never fully express gratitude, but maybe they can do something even better. They might be able to remind you that being there meant more than you thought. The most important influence is sometimes the one we don't even know we had. The writing gets less fast. Truth is strong in a way that doesn't demand attention, but it stays with us long after we forget the nice words. There is only one more folded corner left. The shortest message in the whole letter is inside. Congratulations on being one of the best parts of a story that keeps inspiring me every day. The page is almost over. But there is one more handwritten line below that message. When the ink dries on some letters, they are done. This one keeps going every time the words are thought of. The envelope is now completely empty. But the story it told isn't, because the most important letters aren't judged by how many pages they have. People remember them by how they made us feel long after the last word was written. Also, that message might have been there for you from the start. Something out of the ordinary caught your eye as the last page sat on the table. There was a single handwritten instruction on the back of the envelope that was hard to see. Flip the envelope over. The last note was never in the letter. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. You turn it over slowly. Someone wrote something there in smaller handwriting than anywhere else. It sounds very different from what you've heard so far. If you've made it this far, you already know that each page before this one was leading to something. Before you could understand my heart, I wanted you to understand my memories. Before you saw the end goal, I wanted you to see the journey. The room is very quiet. The message keeps going. I didn't understand for a long time why some memories would not leave me. I thought they would slowly go away over time like most everyday things do. They got brighter instead. They became more clear. They became reminders of how some people quietly leave a mark that lasts forever just by being real. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. There's another paragraph. Snorts, while writing these pages, I learned something interesting. I wrote about hope every time I tried to write about the future. I couldn't help but think of you every time I wrote about hope. That link wasn't meant to be there. It was just too important to ignore. The writing looks better as time goes on. What do you think I value most? Not just one day that stands out, but a bunch of everyday moments that turned out to be extraordinary. A simple conversation, a sentence that makes you think, and a quiet moment. Those times turned into chapters that I read whenever I need to remember what it's like to be truly kind. The next page comes out. One question remains. I keep asking myself, what would be the most important thing I could remember from everything life has taught me? And I was surprised by my answer. Don't wait too long to thank the people who make your life better without being noticed. It's even more meaningful to show appreciation while the memories are still fresh in your mind. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The author takes a break before going on. You might not have known that the words you spoke helped someone keep believing that things will get better. It's possible that you didn't notice that your kindness lasted after we stopped talking. People who have the most beautiful traits often don't know how much they affect other people. That's the exact reason this letter had to be written. Another carefully folded note shows up. Each part of this letter served a single purpose. Not to make you see it, not to shock you with strong words. I want to leave you with one truth that you will never forget. Real appreciation never gets less strong over time. It gets stronger over time because being thankful protects the most important memories. Don't skip. Wait until the end. You're about to find something very big. The last page starts. Now that I'm done writing this, I see that this letter was never just about feelings. It was about being brave. The guts to stop hiding how much they appreciate you. The guts to stop waiting for the right time. Being brave enough to let honesty speak louder than doubt. That's the best thing this trip has taught me. The writing gets slower. It seems like each sentence was picked with great care. If you open these pages again after many years, I hope they make you think of something simple. People who make our lives better without drawing attention to themselves should know that they are appreciated. Even if they didn't expect to hear it, one more folded piece of paper is all that's left. The last words are inside. House, you are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says give and heaven will open over you on this platform. Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. A thank you for becoming one of the most important parts of my story without my knowing it. Thanks for showing me that being kind makes memories last longer than time. Thank you for showing that beautiful handwriting isn't what makes important letters stand out. People remember them because everything they say comes from a pure heart. One more time. The author signs the page. After the signature, there is one last handwritten sentence that finishes the letter. The most surprising thing was that I could never find the right words to express my feelings. My heart had been writing this letter for a long time before my hands ever touched the paper. What did this letter remind you of that you thought you had forgotten? Leave a comment on the word always. Also, please share this with someone whose heart needs to read these words today. Letters that meant the most were always meant to touch more than one heart. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass by you. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.